All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 1:30. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Transportation Advisory Committee for the Pikes Peak Area of Council of Government. If you are a voting member, when you go through and do your introductions, if you could turn your camera on, I would greatly appreciate it, because right now I'm not seeing that we have enough voting members. So I'm going to also be asking the PPACG staff to help me confirm whether or not we have a quorum today. So my name is Gail Sturdivant. I am City Engineer and Deputy Public Works Director for the City of Colorado Springs. Going down through the list that I can see online, Abba.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm turning on my camera now, so you should see me. I'm working from home. I'm Abba Dvivetti. I represent City of Fountain.
Great, thank you. Becky.
Good afternoon, everybody. Becky Frank, Town of Green Mountain Falls.
Thanks, Becky. Ben. Oh, it looks like Ben joined. Great.
This is Ben Schmidt, Public Works Director, City Woodland Park.
Okay, Aaron.
Hello, this is Aaron Busto with Federal Highways.
Casey.
Hello, Casey Fortman, PPACG.
Okay, Danelle.
Good afternoon, Danelle Miller, PPACG.
Darren.
Hi, Darren Horsemeyer, Community Planner at Schriever Space Force Base.
Okay, Jeff.
All right, I got it. Howdy, everyone. Jeff Guthrie, CDOT Region 2 Planning Supervisor. Thank you very much.
Great, thanks. Jason.
Hello, Jason O'Brien, PPACG.
Jess. Bechtel first, and then Theron. If I don't know that I said that correctly.
Good afternoon, Jess Bechtel, PPACG. I'm running tech for Jared today, so just bear with me if it's a little clunky. It's been a while.
I'm missing him too, because he kind of helps me with all this stuff, keeping the roll here. All right.
You're doing great.
Yeah. All right, Jessica.
Hi, Jesse Therian, PPACG.
John.
John Hall, CDOT.
Okay, Kathleen.
Kathleen Collins, CDOT HQ, Statewide and Regional Planning. I believe I'm a formal voting member, although I tend to defer to the local communities to do the voting. But I'm here. Thanks.
Thank you, Kathleen. Lindsay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Lindsay Hawkes, CDOT Region 2 Planning, and thanks, Jess, for all the tech.
Rob.
Hello, Rob Fry, CDOT Environmental and Planning Manager.
Okay, Will.
Hi, this is Will with PPACG.
Okay, it looks like we have a couple guests. I'm just going to look through the list. It does not look to me that we had anybody else join. Jess, can you confirm that you didn't have anyone else join?
Yep, I think we're good. I think we had Allison from MMT join. That's the only one I saw pop in after roll.
Did you? Okay. Oh, there she is. Oh, Allison, can you do the?
I have Allison from Mountain Metro. I think Lynn will be in here a little bit late today.
Okay, so you would be the voting member.
Correct.
Until she arrives. All right. So Jess,
I believe we also have someone from Monument online.
It looks like an Andrew, and I believe Andrew, you're from, if I get that correctly, from Manitou Springs.
Manitou Springs. Yes, Manitou Springs.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just looking to see if anybody else popped in.
I believe you got them all. I think you're good to go.
So then that, as I counting Kathleen, there's at least 7 voting members here, so that gives us a quorum. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. Appreciates everyone's patience going through that. So hopefully everyone received the agenda and had the opportunity to do a review. I'm going to be looking for a motion for approval of the agenda as posted.
This is Allison. I motion.
Thanks, Allison.
This is
Yes,
Abba, I second.
So we've got a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed say nay. All right, so we have an agenda. I'm now going to open it up for public comment for items that are not on the agenda. Just since this is a virtual only meeting, I'm going to ask you if anyone has signed up to speak or if anyone is signed in online that would like to speak.
We received no public comment prior to the meeting, and I can only see that we have 2 attendees. So if they wish to speak, if you could use the raise hand function, otherwise we will move along. I think we are good to go.
All right, well, great. I'm going to move on to item 4, approval of the minutes. Once again, the minutes were provided to you in your packet. Hopefully everyone had the opportunity to review them. And if there's no corrections, I would be looking for a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
This is Ben
I'll go
Schmidt,
ahead and
City of Woodland
motion.
Park. Oh,
Oh.
sorry.
So I heard 2 people. Somebody was making a motion. I heard Ben, and then was it you, Allison?
It was.
Allison, why don't you make the motion, and Ben, if you're willing to second it.
I will go ahead and make the motion to approve minutes.
Ben Schmidt, City of Woodland Park, I second.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. So we're going to move on to the Board of Directors report. Who from the PPACG staff is taking that today?
This is Danella. I can take that. We had a very short board meeting that was held yesterday, actually. Transportation specific items. The active transportation plan was approved to release for public comment. So that should be going out shortly. And Jason O'Brien will be speaking to the TAC later in this meeting regarding that. Other than that, we did have a CDOT update just about ongoing projects and upcoming projects. Colonel Werner from the Air Force Academy joined us and let us know that the construction at the Northgate area was finished. And that's really all that was relevant to transportation in the region.
Okay, well, great. Thank you for that update. Any questions for Danelle? Seeing none, I'm going to move on to our first action item, 6A, the uniform planning work plan update. Danelle?
Yes, thank you. So every year every 2 years, we adopt a new UPWP, Unified Planning Work Program. And in the off years, as this is, we generally do an amendment just to provide an update regarding the new fiscal year budget and any changes to the work that we're planning to do in the next year. The amendment that is in your packet today is fairly simple. I would say there are no major changes to the work tasks that we are planning in the coming fiscal year. There are some changes to the budget just due to the apportionments or the amounts of money that we have been given by FHWA and FTA. I will point out that we did include in there the amount of money that is dedicated to our Complete Streets toolbox that we will be producing. We also have in there 2 projects that one is a toll credit project for safety media campaign. We'll be continuing that, and CDOT has very kindly given us toll credits to provide the local match for that amount. And we will also be undertaking a regional freight plan that kind of builds on our recent freight study. And that will actually be not using our normal planning dollars. That will actually come from state planning funds. Again, very kindly provided that funding by CDOT. And everything else is kind of the same as it was in the previous UPWP. Today, we're just looking for a motion to recommend that we release this document for public comment, and then it will come back for formal approval in coming months.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I want to share that I really appreciated that you highlighted in the document the changes that we were going to be considering and reviewing. So thank you for that. Does anyone have any questions for Danielle on the draft plan? All right, hearing none, I would be looking for a motion to recommend to the PPACG board that this draft gets released to the public for comment. Still looking for a motion if somebody would be willing to do so.
This is Ben Schmidt, City Woodland Park. I move to release this for public comment.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
John Collins, I'll second that.
All right, great. And thank you, Dawn, for joining us. I got you down here.
Thank you.
It's a little hard with the virtual to kind of keep track when people jump in. So we've got a motion and a second to release this document for public comment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. All right, great. Thank you. Our next item is 6B is CDOT 10-year projects. Jen, I'm going to turn it over to you. You did a great job explaining this last month to us, so I appreciate that conversation. If you could just kind of give us a brief recap of what you're asking for us for today.
Yep. Thank you, Gail. Much appreciated. So again, nothing really has changed. The only modification memo, few very, very minor little typos, and just the discussion of having it be proposed as opposed to kind of an option the last time we spoke a month ago. So again, what we're doing is we're looking at the total funds across the US 24 East, the 67 north of Woodland Park project, the safety and operational improvements on I-25 and US 24 Ridge Road overpass, and also some non-10-year funds in the Powers and Milton Proby interchange RPP funds in that. And essentially, we're looking at them as a kind of the pool of funding we have, and let's go ahead and apply those funds to the top two priority projects, first and foremost, the US 24 East widening and the 67 north of Woodland Park. It's much smaller dollars when you're talking the 67 north of Woodland Park, but that project is already advertised once. We're proposing to basically shift about 4 million into that project. The US 24 East, a much more significant share of the money to get that project up to a total of about 85 million, which is our current estimate. That should get us on a really good pace for construction in 2027, give us a couple years for right-of-way, finished design and right-of-way acquisitions, which will be very significant on that project. Again, we're realigning the fiscal year of those fundings just so they match up with where those projects will actually be. I want to hit those highlights on the top of that page because I think they're the most important things to reemphasize. This proposal makes zero change to net PPACG RPP or 10-year capital funding. It only just shifts stuff around between projects and the fiscal year to line up with the need and to put those funds into those top two priority projects. Again, US 24 East widening and North Woodland Park. It does, of course, in doing that, pull back funding on the I-25 safety and operational project and US 24 West. A little background, we talked about, Gail, you've already pushed some efforts to have us meet up, talk some grant stuff. And I'll just tell you within CDOT, we're already looking at the possibility of some grants. I got to talk to Shane about them, but RCP grant application, maybe on safety and operational improvements on I-25 already. So we're ready to get the ball rolling on that to try to refill these projects that are lower priority.
Well, great. Thank you for that, John.
The two high priority projects, again, 6 and 7, are essentially getting the funding at admittedly the expense of 8, 9, and 10 right now, which are those bottom 3 projects. And in full disclosure mode, though, I do want to make sure that I'm clear that, that I acknowledge in shifting the years around a little bit. Again, no changes to PPACG total, no changes to Central Front Range total, but it also does allow us some flexibility to, for example, advance a Central Front Range project that's right on the border, and I know of interest to Pikes Peak Area Council of Government membership, a resurfacing rural paving project right on the west side of Woodland Park, for example. So this move, fully funds our projects that are the highest priority and gives a little bit of flexibility for some of those other things for the region as well in terms of getting projects out the door. Again, without changing any planning totals, though, within PPACG or within Central Front Range individually too. I mean, not, again, each of those entities have the exact same funding in all scenarios. All right.
Great. Thank you, John, for your presentation. Does anyone have any questions for John? All right. If there are no questions for John, I will be looking for a motion to either approve the CDOT attachments or the attached plan or budget adjustments as John presented them, or to not, depending on what the motion should be. But I think we've all been pretty in favor.
Andrew Moran, City of Manitou Springs, motion to approve.
Great, thank you, Andrew.
Ben Schmidt, City of Woodland Park, I second. Thank you, John, for putting this together.
Great, thank you. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. All right, John, we're going to be recommending to the board that they approve these adjustments. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Chair.
welcome. We're going to move on to item 7A, active transportation plan. Jason?
Okay, good afternoon. This will be a short item, I think, depending on questions. So we did a reasonably full presentation on this last time when we first had a draft plan available. And the draft plan that was attached to the packet this time, the one that's gone out for public comment, really has just been sort of prettied up and reorganized to be a good public-facing document. Substantively, it really isn't very different. So I thought we wouldn't take up your time doing another presentation. Mostly, we just wanted to put it out there that we'd love to get any comments from the TAC, any questions, concerns. We would like to seek the TAC's formal recommendation for adoption by our board of directors. We'd like to do that next month. So if anybody has been looking at this and you see anything standing in your way of doing that, we'd love to talk about it in the next couple of weeks if possible. And yeah, just want to take any comments.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. Does anyone have any questions for Jason or comments on the plan?
And that's now or later by email, however you want to talk about it.
And just to verify, if somebody has not received the link for their review on a separate email, this document, the draft plan with all the appendices are attached in the agenda or linked in the agenda.
Yes, that's right.
All right. Thank you, Jason. If people have comments outside of this meeting, we will assume that they're going to email them to you, and we'll look forward to seeing you back next month.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. We're going to move on to the LRTP updates. Danielle, are you going to be doing that one today or somebody else?
I will do that as well. And I apologize for that highlighting that got left in there.
I thought you were to draw attention about what you've done, so I appreciated it.
That is the big update. We did send our 2030 travel demand model information to the state, and we've gotten some good news, I think, so far from CDPHE. We're still in discussion a little bit with CDOT to provide some guidance on that greenhouse gas moving forward. And so I don't have I can't give TAC a definite timeline at this point, but I will say that we are definitely moving forward and really pushing to make our no later than January 2025 deadline to approve the new LRTP. If anybody has questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But really, we're just working on the document and trying to get it done.
Thank you for that update. Any questions for Danelle? All right, hearing none, I'm going to move to item 7C, the TIP updates. And Jess, I assume you're going to be taking this one. I do have a question for you to get started. Have you received the input you need for any roll forward on the TIP?
Yes, so we are all set there. Thank you all for that feedback on those projects. And so I am finishing those up in the system today, actually. And so those will get rolled into the new TIP, which will be finalized in the system as well in the next day or so. And then with that, I'm going to be looking to schedule project status meetings in September to make sure and go ahead and review that all those roll forwards and everything looks and jives with your reports. And so I'll be sure to send you guys a report ahead of time so that you can review numbers and compare to what you have, and then we will find times to meet. But that's all I have for the TIP right now.
Yeah, and can I add something for you? I asked you to maybe follow up with us on one. We received notice last week of 2 grants.
Okay.
One of which is additional the construction funding for the Peterson Space Force Base Northgate construction. So I know it's already in the TIP. We'll just need to incorporate those new dollars. And if you could just help us guide us for that, guide the city for what you're going to need for that, for one. The second is, and I don't know that it's specifically itemized in the LRTP as a separate bridge project. I know it's part of a larger one, but we received a bridge investment program award for planning for the Academy Boulevard over Platte Avenue. And that bridge is part of that larger intersection project. But I think regardless, we would want to make sure that that element gets pulled out, because we would be looking to replace that bridge ultimately, even in advance of anything that might happen with that intersection. So we just need your guidance on what you're going to need from us on that.
Sure, certainly we can touch base offline about those, and I can help you get those onto the TIP.
Great, perfect. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
Anything else? Anything else for Jess? All right, we're going to move on to item 7D, CDOT update standing item. Kathleen, if you'd like to go first.
Sorry, it took me a while to find my mic. Okay. So in terms of key TC topics that happened today, there were no actions that were significant for today, but discussions of policy directive 14. And then in terms of the scorecard for performance measures and targets, and then also the planning cycle for the 2050 statewide transportation plan. In addition to that, there was an update of Region 5 projects, and then a discussion and update on the transit connection study. And I have a link to share. I'll send this information to Danelle to distribute it after the meeting. In terms of staff updates, our Region 3 and 5 planning liaison, Tess Ritchie, is moving on to get a master's in Scotland. And so we won't have her help anymore, but we're going to try and fill that position soon. And we also are looking for a staff member planner for the support of land use and active transportation planning work. Also, any of you who know Danny Herman, he retired. His last day was last Friday. He's been with CDOT for around 17 years and he'll be missed. And then there is a new branch in DTD. It's the Subrecipient Grant Support Unit. And that is going to be a branch that streamlines the grant process at CDOT. At least that's our intent. And Alejandra Diaz is their branch manager, and they're seeking 2 other positions to fill and support that branch. And then I also have a link to the stack materials if anybody wants them. We are in the process of working with TPRs in developing their 2050 RTPs, regional transportation plans, and they will roll up into the 2050 statewide plan. And then there is an active transportation plan survey that we're asking people to take by the end of the month, and I'll send you that link, as well as a grants improvement survey that the grants folks would like people to fill out. And that's all my updates, and I'll be sending this information and links to Danelle. Thanks.
Okay, great, thank you. Jeff, do you want to add something?
Thanks, Madam Chair. Thank you, Kathleen, for those extensive updates. You didn't steal all of my thunder this time, but thank you. Just a hopeful reminder to everyone in the room, upcoming on Tuesday, September 10th, for all of Region 2, Headquarters Traffic and Safety Branch is hosting a strategic highway safety plan stakeholder workshop. Again, that's for all of the Region 2 counties. That'll be here in Pueblo at the Rollins Library. That's the huge Jawa sandcrawler looking building here in downtown Pueblo, the main library branch. And then there will be a Monday, September 30th virtual workshop. Those communications should have gone out to all interested parties from our headquarters traffic and safety planner, but do please follow up with me, and I can, I guess, work with Jess to distribute those amongst the TAC members, and then in turn you can distribute those to whomever you want. Also, as part of our 4P project priority programming process, we are hosting a county meeting with El Paso County coming up on Monday, September 23rd. We're finalizing the location for that, and we can send out that formal invitation. Excuse me, but that is to gather stakeholder and public input into developing our STIP, our 10-year plan, and our long-range plan in conjunction with all of our planning partners. And then Kathleen brought up the 2050 long-range plan, the statewide plan, and then each of our intern regional planning partners. That update for 2050, we launched kickoff meeting in July with our rural transportation planning regions. That timeline, we're looking for an August of next year, a year from now, adoption. Let me just mention to any interested parties that also operate outside of the MPO here in the Central Front Range TPR, if any of you operate in the rural parts of El Paso County and then the Central Front Range region, that next meeting for them is in October, and we expect that to be a bit of a working session to start identifying potential projects for prioritization at the regularly scheduled January quarterly TPR meetings. And that, Madam Chair, is all of my updates, unless anybody has questions. Thank you.
All right, any questions for Jeff? All right, Rob, did you have anything you'd like to add?
No, Jeff and I corresponded. He covered everything. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Jessica, anything else or anyone else from CDOT I might have missed?
I think that's everybody. Scott, did you have anything for CDOT?
No, not at this time. I think Jeff covered it all.
Great.
Jeff and Kathleen.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, I'm going to move on to item 7E, the IIJA updates and other funding.
Yes, there is a memo of the open and new to be open opportunities in your packet. The DCSC Plazas program opened recently. as did the Safe Routes to School program here in Colorado. If you have any questions on specific funding opportunities, I'd be happy to either answer those questions or refer those questions out to our grant navigator, Karen Rowe. But otherwise, I don't think we need to go through all of the items on here.
Okay. Any questions for Danelle? All right, hearing none, we're going to move on to item 8. I'm going to ask that we do item 8 and 9 together. And it is going to be for member updates and anything you'd like to hear on the agenda in the future. So again, going down through my list. Ava, anything from Fountain?
I don't have anything at this time.
All right, great, thank you. Andrew, anything from Manitou?
Nothing currently. Thank you.
Thank you. Becky?
Nothing from Green Mountain Falls right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben Schmidt? All right, Ben, I'm going to skip past you. If you have anything, please raise your hand and I'll come back to you. Allison, anything from MMT?
Gosh, I was trying to think. I'm sure Lan would have something, but I'm falling short in her shoes. So I'm going to say nothing right now.
That's okay. Just tell her that's a good answer. I'm going to go, let's see, going down to member governments. Dawn, anything from Palmer Lake?
No, nothing new, but I always want to add just a statement of gratitude for PPACG, the TAC. For right now, we're moving through one of our roadway improvement projects in front of the Palmer Lake Elementary School. So just a thank you at this point. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Dawn. And then Philip, I apologize. I can't remember where you're from and you weren't on when I did my initial roll call.
I'm from PPACG.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, so I will handle, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Philip. For the City of Colorado Springs, so I talked about those 2 grants. So that was one of my member announcements. I do want you guys to think about this. Unfortunately, the county is not on today. And I believe, Danielle, if I've got this correctly, that Victoria's currently the first vice chair and Ben is the second. Do I have that correct? Or do I have those flipped around? Okay. I want to let you know that in November or December, we are going to need to do an election. And I will share with you that although I love being the chair of the TAC, I am going to be term limited. So we are going to be, I want you to start thinking about it if you're willing to step into this role for at least a year, if not 2. We would love to have someone else take over the leadership of this team. So just wanted to throw that out there so folks can start putting their thinking caps on. And I think that's it from Colorado Springs. I'm going to give one last minute alibi if anyone else wants to add anything else. Otherwise, I will be calling this meeting to adjournment. All right, hearing none. Thanks everyone for your participation today. I appreciate everything you guys do and the expertise you bring to this, and we'll talk with you next month. This meeting's adjourned.